People usually give charity to causes that really melt their hearts. You've probably helped a beggar on the streets by offering food or money. Good for you, but did you know that there are more fake beggars on the street than there are those who are genuinely in need of help? Number 9. The pregnant panhandler. This pregnant woman and her son were seen panhandling at a San Diego shopping center parking lot. It's a heartbreaking sight, and you can't help but to stop and give them money, something which dozens of shoppers did. I mean, she was heavily pregnant, and she had this cardboard sign that read, "Please help." Generous passersby would give whatever little they could offer and just go about their day. But one shopper thought she recognized her and was not convinced that what she saw was all there was to know about the pregnant beggar's heartbreaking situation. One day, when she saw the lady begging for money at her usual spot, she decided to linger a little longer. What she learned will shock you. After taking money from generous shoppers and kind passersby all day, the pregnant beggar and her son were picked up in a plush Mercedes-Benz. The shopper spying on them snapped pictures of them leaving in the Benz and even caught them on camera counting the money in the vehicle. Those images went viral, but nobody saw or heard from the beggar ever since. Number 8. The Fifth Avenue Faker. This poor woman, wearing an unsightly blanket, hunched over on her crutches and unable to meet the gaze of the generous shoppers and passersby, dropping cash into her cup, looks like a really sad case. You've probably given money to this beggar if you're one to frequent New York's most famous street, the Fifth Avenue. With thousands of shoppers splurging on designer clothing, handbags, and shoes from high-end stores like Gucci, Tiffany's, and Armani, change easily finds its way into this poor beggar's cup. During the busiest hours, she would receive as many as 50 donations an hour. After observing how she quickly emptied the cup's contents into her handbag and presented the empty cup to unsuspecting passersby just as quickly, undercover journalists were curious to know what happens to the money collected. They couldn't believe their eyes when they saw the Fifth Avenue beggar walking upright after following her when she was done begging for the day. Without the crutches and not wearing the filthy blanket, she was a completely different person. They knew that she was a faker, and the news crew set out to expose her. When they confronted her the next day, however, she refused to comment, nor did she give up her act. I rather doubt she'll be coming back to this part of the town any day soon. Number 7. The Fake Homeless. You may not know this, but there are actually over 500,000 people facing homelessness on any given night in the US alone. The sight of living and begging on the streets is a sad reality, mostly because some of the people experiencing homelessness are able-bodied individuals who seem capable of working to earn a living. You will of course feel compelled to give some money, but at some point, you begin to wonder why they wouldn't just get a job. That could help them come off the streets, right? Well, instead of offering money, this guy decided to offer a homeless man from his home city of Port Huron, Michigan, a job. He hoped that his offer would address the underlying cause of the man's homelessness, but he was turned down. He couldn't understand why the man didn't welcome the chance to get off the road, where he was panhandling with a cardboard sign that read, "Homeless, please help." With his offer documents in one hand, the guy decided to hold up his own cardboard sign in the other hand where he wrote, "This guy isn't homeless." This was an ingenious way of letting everyone know the truth about the faker before they decided to give their money out to him. You can hear the motorist honking in appreciation, and it's clear that the exposed faker wasn't happy about it. Number 6. The Professional Beggars. Residents of big, rich cities are renowned for caring for their most vulnerable members. Sadly, not everyone begging on the streets is a person in need. Melbournians learned this fact the hard way. Sometime in 2019, disturbing footage alleging that a Chinese syndicate of fake beggars had overrun the city, scamming the good people of Melbourne off thousands of dollars. Police cracked down on the Chinese nationals, posing as rough sleepers. Several were arrested and charged. It was discovered that they all had tourist visas that had been arranged for them by a secret organization operating in China. The police learned also that the beggars they arrested had been flown to Melbourne as professionals whose orders were to work the streets and send the money they collected back to China. Some of these arrested had money exchange receipts showing that Australian dollars had just recently been converted into Chinese yuan. Number 5. The Smart Scammer. Begging is illegal in Dubai, yet it can be incredibly lucrative for one who is a smart scammer. Usually, these are professional beggars who visit wealthy countries on short-term tourist visas, similar to how corner beggars run by mafias operate. Only, the smart beggar operates solo. Indian YouTuber Carl Rock is no stranger to the tactics fake beggars use to scam people. While on a trip to Dubai, Rock bumped into this gentleman who asked him for a 50 dirham handout. The guy looked decently dressed and too blinged out to be out begging, but Rock was familiar with his type and declines to help. Or rather, he doesn't fall for the scam. Smart beggars like him usually have their story straight and will say anything to get their victims to give them some money. Rock immediately points out that he doesn't trust him and essentially exposes him as a scammer who is out to prey on the sympathies and good intentions of others. Number 4. Next Generation Scrounger. We're still in Dubai, where begging is illegal, but a recent police report shows that one beggar was caught with more than 40,000 dirham in cash. That's $11,000, but it was all in different currencies. And in another bust, Dubai police arrested an Asian beggar whom they found to be residing in a 5-star hotel. It certainly pays to be a beggar in Dubai, probably because the residents are known to be extremely generous, especially during the months of Ramadan and Eid. During this time, showing compassion to the less fortunate and charitable giving to support the poor is mandatory for any Muslim who can do so. Fake beggars easily take advantage of that, and they will do anything to collect as much money as they can during that time. Don't have cash? Not to worry, this beggar walks around with his own payment terminal to process credit cards. I bet these guys did not see it coming. I don't know, help me out here guys, is this beggar legit or is this the future of begging? Number 3. The GoFundMe Scammer. Tens of thousands of people believed this sympathetic plea made by 24-year-old Reed M. Rowe, alleging that his 13-week-old puppy, Atlas, had been badly injured in a hit-and-run motor vehicle crash and needed emergency surgery. Reed Rowe set up a GoFundMe campaign in 2018 to raise money for the dog's veterinary bills, which he estimated at about $11,000. Nearly 700 donors removed and sent in their contributions, raising a total of $14,065 in under a month. The successful crowdfunding campaign was since closed for donations, and that should have been the end of that. But it wasn't. In a story published on a website called GoFraudMe, which tracks fake GoFundMe campaigns, it later turned out that Ray Hero had lied about the circumstances leading to Atlas's injuries. The police opened an investigation and found out that Hero had severely abused the pup, causing multiple fractures and even hemorrhaging. It's not clear how Hero used the money he raised on the GoFundMe site, but the police reported that Atlas died after sustaining additional injuries while still in Hero's care. He was charged with third-degree animal cruelty and theft by deception, to which he pleaded guilty. But the circled section reveals that bitter truth of where your donation will have gone. Number 2. The Fake Amputee. You've probably seen beggars with disabilities asking passersby on the street to give them some money. But as the title of our video has given away, not all beggars you see on the streets are the people you think they are. Sometimes the person begging on the streets who has an apparent disability will turn out to not be disabled at all. Sometimes there's a real reason for skepticism, and this video of the beggar revealed to be lying about his disability will back up this claim. The footage is thought to be taken in northwest China, where a puzzled passerby walks up to a beggar wheeling himself around in a trolley and claims that he had seen him walking on his 2 feet just moments ago. There's a brief exchange. The man is probably asking the beggar why he's begging for handouts and claiming to be an amputee when he wasn't. Suddenly, the inquisitive passerby grabs the beggar's trousers and manages to pull them down, revealing that he had only crossed his legs and tucked them into his baggy underpants. Exposed, the fake amputee beggar slides over. 1. The Legless Beggar. This video of a beggar pretending to be disabled went viral on social media. Netizens could not stop recounting the beggar's dilemma when law enforcement agents caught up with him. The video was taken in Houghton, Johannesburg, South Africa. It looks as if the legless beggar had been carried to this busy intersection and left there so that kind motorists could help with money. However, the police were somehow tipped off that he was faking the disability and that he had no business sitting on the middle of a busy road. So they confront him, probably give him a verbal warning, and he's asked to quickly pack up and leave. He tries to take his time because the camera was recording and he didn't want to embarrass himself, nor go viral on the internet. But one officer hurried him up, and suddenly the seemingly legless beggar grew a pair of legs, and they seemed to work perfectly fine. Many people jokingly commented that it was a freaking miracle. Yeah, a miracle of thievery.